What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing all right on this Sunday morning. Well, Sunday morning here. I know it's probably evening for a lot of you guys. Morning, Max. Man, this is my Sunday morning mug. I got my Chase mug. Yes, Claire is doing okay. She is just ready to have this kid. she's and I understand she's starting to get really uncomfortable. We're pretty close to the end here. We still have a couple weeks to our actual, like, on paper due date, but she feels like it's gonna be sooner than that, which I'm fine with. Well, baby Tank has not entered this world yet, but she's healthy. We're doing good. We had our doctor's appointment on Thursday rescheduled because of all the ice and snow in Nashville, so we go in on Tuesday to see what the doctor thinks and what's going on. Well, but we're thawing out here a little bit. The weather today is supposed to be in the 50s, which I believe in Celsius is somewhere around 10-ish. Actually, I think 50 degrees is 10 Celsius. So things are starting to melt and thaw a little bit, but now there's ice everywhere because that was what we originally had. All the ice was under the snow, so. The weather's been good here other than, like, the snow and ice on the ground. It's warming up. We've had sun the last 3 days. I think we got like 3 inches of ice, which is about 7.5 centimeters, and then maybe about 6 inches of snow, which is 15 centimeters. Snow is back. There's probably that much snow on top of the ice now. It's starting to melt. All the roads here are clear. It's all good. And we didn't have any, power or water issues or anything like that in Nashville. They finally got all the plows and the salt trucks down here a few days ago. Avair actually just asked a good question. They said, since when do I have a coffee mug available in the YouTube store section? As of like yesterday. I didn't announce it, I just threw it up there. Claire's been doing graphic design work for me, and we're going to come up with some fun ideas for like little things to put on the YouTube store if anybody ever wants to grab something from there. But yeah, I ordered a sample of it. I don't have it now. I'm using Chase's, but I got a mug that just has the new TankTheTech logo on it and stuff like that. We're probably going to end up coming out with some merch that just says dude on it too. Yeah, the back roads and the side roads still kind of suck. Like, we live on a main cut-through road that goes between two major other roads. So they plowed our main street, but all the side roads that go off our main street are still covered in ice. Yep, Dunny, well aware. We are working on getting more shirts printed. VG actually, Violent Gentleman got a hold of me recently and asked if I wanted to do another print of shirts. Obviously, yes. Have I heard anything about Texas? Yeah, I have some friends that live there. Most of my friends that I know in Texas, they didn't get like the 3 days of no power or water or anything like that. But I do have a friend that lives north of Houston that said they were just doing random rolling blackouts to prevent the power grid from failing anymore. So he was like, every couple hours at my house, the power would just go out for like a half hour and then it would eventually just come back on. But he said it's warming up there and things are, at least in his area, are starting to get better. But I know there's some areas of Texas that are still pretty bad. Very unfortunate. When do I think our little tank will join the world? My gut instinct is saying sometime this week. But who knows? Babies come when they want to come. Sloth, I believe an inch is, let's look that up just to be, I always went off 1 inch being 2.5 centimeters, but you might be, right, it might be like, that might be an approximation. You're right, it is 2.54. I always just went off 2.5 because it was easier to do the math. Yeah, I mean, our due date isn't until March 10th. That's the exact 40-week mark, but doctors say that babies can come anywhere in a window of 2 weeks before that to 2 weeks after that. We are about in that window. We're like a few days off. Dude, that would be... We were joking about that on Discord the other day. Could you imagine if I was, like, in the middle of one of these live streams and Claire was just like, hey, we gotta go? I would probably just leave this running and just go. That would make for funny content. Ben, I'm doing well. Thank you very much. I hope you are too. Oh, Maru, that's great. I'm glad you got it. I know there's some people in Europe that are still waiting for the Violent Gentleman TankTheTech stuff to show up. Ooh. Yeah, Claire's at the point where she's just like, dude, she's doing great. She's in good spirits. She's handling it well. She's just uncomfortable. I feel for her. Like, she can't get comfortable when she's trying to sleep. Yeah, she's definitely going to be a Pisces. No, we have not gotten vaccines. They are not available to us right now in Tennessee because we are in good health and we are not first responders or medical workers. And also, they would not give her the vaccine right now because she's pregnant. But through this whole pandemic, we've been doing what we feel is necessary to keep ourselves safe. We don't really go out. We hang here, especially with her being pregnant. Like, I used to go, when I was home, I used to go to the gym Monday through Saturday for like 90 minutes a day, 6 days a week. Since we've been home in March, and then since we found out she was pregnant, I have not gone to a gym. I haven't gone out and done anything. I go to the grocery store, and I get takeout every now and then. Yeah, Ben, I did say that to you. She's... Michael, she's in everything, baby. She moves all the time. The most I've felt her is like right in the morning when Claire wakes up, and like when she's laying down to go to sleep at night. She's just nonstop, just death metal drumming. All good, Saga. You're on time. Fine. Who said? I saw somebody, I think it was Sloth, that said like the Slayer poster. I actually got that Slayer poster on their first like last tour. One of my buddies was guitar teching for Kerry King. I went to their sound check and then went to the show. It was the Slayer Behemoth, or Slayer Lamb of God Behemoth lineup. I'm not gonna lie, Behemoth put on a better show than the other two bands, easily. Greetings from Finland. Terve. Doing good. Snowmobiling, that sounds great. When it started snowing here, all the hillbillies around me ripped out their four-wheelers and stuff, and we're just riding up and down the streets. When do I think I'll be doing more Unleash the Archers reaction videos? Sooner than later. This week I've pretty much got planned out, if I'm being honest. I definitely want to do that new Gojira video that everybody's been telling me about. Andrew WK released a new video, and I liked Andrew WK back in the day, and I didn't know that he was releasing new material, so I want to check that out. And obviously we're going to be continuing Human Nature, listening to the new Nightwish. Well, the newest Nightwish. It's not super new at this point. Shoemakers this week. And then Friday. This could be really interesting. I would honestly be curious to see how many people be interested in this. So Friday is a record release day for a lot of records. Architects comes out. Epica comes out. The new Evergrey comes out. I'm really looking forward to that. And I was talking to Evergrey's record label about the possibility of doing a live stream like this and listening to the entire record in its entirety, just sitting here with anybody that wanted to listen, just to check it out. And if I get the approval on that, I might be doing that on Friday, because I am so excited for that record. And speaking of Evergrey, tomorrow on the YouTube channel, not a reaction video, but I have an interview with Tom England from Evergrey that will be on YouTube tomorrow for Interview with a Roadie. And it was awesome. It was really cool sitting and talking to him. So I hope you guys like that. Do I like Helmet? Yeah, I used to listen to a lot of Helmet back in the day. I saw somebody ask if I did a Soilwork reaction too, and I haven't, because there's not a lot of Soilwork I haven't heard. I love that band. Yeah, I pre-ordered Evergrey's album digitally, and then I ordered one of the special editions of their vinyl to hang on the wall too. How about another Blind Guardian reaction? We'll get there. So, Melissa, that's funny. One of our dogs seems to understand that something's going on with Claire. Like, she seems to get that she's different. I don't know if dogs can sense that humans are pregnant. But our other dog doesn't really seem to know anything's going on. Today's Flora's birthday? Oh, happy birthday, Hannes' wife. Yeah, Edward, that is cool, man. It's really cool to see that many people that get into music with me. Like, that's so cool that we can just get together and check out music. Coffee's good. Almost gone. Nice, Marco. Yeah, Tom's a nice guy, man. I've talked to him on Instagram a bunch. Even when we did our interview before and after, we just sat with the recording off and just talked, and he was really cool. I have not seen the new Lamb of God yet. I would love to do that. So one of our dogs is a Black Lab German Shepherd mix. His name is Mowgli. And then our other dog is a weird mix. I thought, so we had him DNA tested. I thought she was like a Chihuahua and a Dachshund or something. They're both rescue dogs. Her DNA test said she's Poodle, Chihuahua, and something else. I don't know. She looks like a little Ewok. She's hilarious. Penny and Mowgli are fantastic. How long have I been growing a beard? Probably about a couple weeks, maybe a month before I started my YouTube channel. Maybe. It's like 8 months, I think. Of course, our Discord community is great. We hang out on there a lot. It really, it's a great community. Like, I don't want to say anything about anybody else, but like, as far as YouTube and Discord communities go, I think myself and Chase got very lucky with a lot of people that are in here, because I see some other people's comment sections and live streams and Discords, and I'm just like, nope. Like, everybody in here is great. I have not heard Finland's Eurovision Song Contest representative. I've heard of Blind Channel, though. I need to check that out. Yes, I did watch that interview with Flora and Tom. I've heard of Primordial. I don't think I've ever listened to them. Denise, thank you. I had fun with that Sabaton reaction yesterday, man. It was wild. I like doing that contrast where I can like go back and see what a band was like when they were in their early days to now. Marco, your brother's a drummer in a band called Neon Angel. Heavily 80s rock and metal influence. Okay. How do bands get compensated when you download their albums off iTunes? That's a good question, Dunny. So bands have publishers. And the whole point of a publisher is to basically control the copyright on their music and make sure that they get paid their royalties that are due when their music gets used or sold somewhere. So when we talk about copyrights and copyright claims on YouTube, it's not the bands and the labels that are issuing those to reactors and people using the music. It's the publishers. And I could spend a whole hour talking about how I feel about that, but I won't, so I'll just answer your question. The publishers basically keep tabs on how much records are selling and whether it's online or physical and stuff like that, and then the publishers make sure the bands get compensated for that. So, now digitally, the bands don't get paid nearly as much as they would if you bought from their record label. So I always suggest to people, when you're buying something from a band that you truly want to support, I would highly recommend buying it directly from their record label's web store or on, wherever you can get it from them. That's why I like to buy a vinyl when it comes out, but also buy it digitally so I can listen to it on the go on my phone in my car and stuff like that, but also support the band if possible. Oh, I saw Hard Rock Hallelujah the year it came out. The producer for my band, when we were recording in the studio, came in and was like, "You guys have to see this band." He's like, "It's the Finnish version of Gwar, but it's even better." Blind channel is something that rock music needs right now. Okay. I like when people tell me a little bit about the bands that you recommend, because when somebody just shouts a band name at me, it kind of doesn't mean anything. I've had a lot of people that are just like, check out Blind Channel, but nobody ever tells me why. So the fact that you guys just told me they're a Eurovision representative for Finland, they're what rock music needs, stuff like that helps me gauge, okay, cool. How would you today judge your playing in a band back in the day? Mediocre. When I was in my band, I definitely didn't play to my potential, I guess you could say. I took pride in just being a good backbone. I was a rhythm player. I kept the bass rhythm and that was it. I didn't do anything crazy. Best way to support a band financially? Yeah, I would say buying their albums directly from their label when they come out, and then nowadays, concert and merch. Merch and concert tickets. That's where the bands are making the majority of their money nowadays. And since there's no concerts going on right now, merch is the big thing. If you want to support bands, buy direct from them and their labels. Buy their merch. Yeska, yeah, that is the best way, for sure. So my band that I was in was not a metal band. A lot of people would assume it was, but it's not. We were kind of like a pop punk, screamo, pop rock-ish band. When we first started out, we started Story of the Year, Thrice, stuff like that. As it progressed, it got a little more poppy. But yeah, it was definitely not metal. My first metal band, Fear Factory. At 100%. Last week on my Rewind series, I did the first metal song I ever heard. It was Zero Signal by Fear Factory. Coffee Night Owl, yeah, I've been seeing that name a lot too. If it's anything like Blood Red Hourglass, I would like it. I still need to check out Wardruna, I know. It's hard to get to all this music, man. There are only so many days in the week. People are like, why haven't you done this yet? There's so many things I need to do. Ooh, Brian, good question. I really don't know because I use nails. So I actually... do I have one laying around? Hold on. I thought I had it here. I got these little things on Amazon that are they're adjustable, but they're clear like record holders. They're like that wide, and they just go up the back of the record like a spine, and they kind of hold it, and then you can just put one little nail in the wall and hang it, and that's how all of those are hung up there. That's a good question. Would I like to play in a band today? Maybe. It would depend. I'm starting to play a lot more at home again, and I'm realizing I'm really getting muscle memory back at playing my bass. Like, I'm really enjoying it. I'm really liking it. Given my situation with family and expenses and stuff like that, I'd probably have to join an already established band where I know I would be making money. And I'm not talking like, I don't need Rockstar money. I've always said, like, my thing for me is like, I never want to exceed luxury by any means. I just want to make sure that, you know, my family and I are taken care of in terms like our bills are paid. You know, we don't have any worries. We're happy. That's it. So I'd probably just have to join a band that was already established that just paid me, you know, enough that I can pay all my bills and stuff. I saw RPG ask Demanufacture or other albums. Yeah, Zero Signal was my first Fear Factory song, and that was the first album I bought with my own money that I got from, like, Christmas or something, was Demanufacture by Fear Factory. But I like all of their stuff, man. After that, Obsolete, Digimortal, Archetype, those, I played the hell out of those. Shock is a good intro to Fear Factory as well, because that's the first track on Obsolete, and it is awesome. Starkey, I did. I was waiting for you to be online, and then I just couldn't contain the excitement anymore, so I kind of held it up and showed it to everybody. Dave asks, how is the Warwick Bass project? I haven't started yet. I'm lazy. Yeah, Saga, I'm just going to be playing bass to my baby. Wilbur asks, do I have any good stories from your time on the road with Pat Benatar? Yeah, I've got a ton, man. That was one of my favorite tours I've ever done. I loved her and her husband. I love that crew. One of my favorite moments was on my 25th birthday. We had a show. And it was in Bakersfield, California. And Pat's tour assistant went out and got me a cake at the request of Pat. And then at lunchtime in catering, they, like, sang me happy birthday and lit a candle lit the candles on the cake. I actually have a picture of Pat and myself and her husband, like, standing around. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can find it. I'll send it to myself really quick and I'll put it on screen if I can find it. It might take a second, and then I'll get back to the chat here. Sorry. I had a lot of fun on that tour, man. Like, everybody in that crew, I made friends on that crew that I still talk to today. Pat and her husband are great people. It was just such a good time. Alright, I found it. I'm gonna email it to myself and then pull it up on screen. Ooh, what was the definitive first record band song that converted you to play music? Oh, I can't remember what it was for music in general, but bass, what made me be like, I'm playing bass, is the first time I ever heard Mudvayne. And I heard how Ryan Martini plays bass. I was like, bass players can be awesome. I'm playing bass. And then after that, I got into Les Claypool and Victor Wooten and Flea and all these other solid bass players. Do I know bands that would be the same style as Amorphous? Ooh, I would consider, like, Insomnium would be close to Amorphous. There's a lot of bands in that same genre that I would recommend. Like, I really liked Blood Red Hourglass when I first heard it. Really anything from the Mellow Death scene would be close. All right, I'm gonna pull this image up here in a second. Let me see if I can add it to this stream so you guys can see this, and I'll tell you about this. Give you a little backstory. Find it here in a second. There it is. So this is from my 25th birthday on tour with Pat Benatar and her husband Neil Giraldo. that was in catering. And they had them and their crew sing happy birthday and got to hang out with them a bunch. Pretty cool, man. See, no beard. Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. Those were good times. I had lots of fun on those tours. Soil work, I would say, would be close to Amorphous too. Do I know any Dutch bands? Epica and Arion. I think that's it. I could be wrong. Oh, I need to get into Wolfheart. I've seen that too. Adam, I do plan on checking out Civil War. The ex-Sabaton members, for sure. I can hear Ryan Martini's influence in Eugene's bass playing. Eugene is a stupid good bass player. Insanely good. I agree, RPG. Bass slappers tend to get more attention than others. It's because it's just cool. Like, people think that's the cool thing on bass. Like, I watch bass slappers and I'm like, yeah, they're really good, but it's like, for me, the value of a good bass player in a band is, can they hold the rhythm section together? And I've talked about, you know, you watch guys like Davey504 has that ongoing joke where he talks about playing with a pick is sacrilegious. Playing with a pick isn't, like, and I'll admit, early on when I was a bass player, I had that mentality that playing with a pick was almost like cheating. Like, it was fingerstyle and slap or nothing. But when you play bass with a pick, it's more of a tonal thing. And there are some speeds that you just cannot finger pick at that you need. Like, I've been learning a Children of Bodom song lately that I'm probably going to do a bass playthrough for. And while it's possible to do some parts of the song finger picking it, there are others where it's absolutely needed. You need a pick to play it. And it's like, just for an example, my bass is probably tuned stupid low right now, but it's like the difference between slapping and picking. Like, if you're going to play a bass line, what looks cooler? Doing this? Or doing this? You know, it's... slapping is flashy. That's really what it is. There are some great slap players. Like, going back to Davey504, that dude is incredibly talented. Some of his jokes that he makes get taken too seriously, in my opinion. Bass is underrated. My like integrity as a bass player is like, I just wanted to make sure I was playing everything right and holding down the backbone and the rhythm with the drummer. Yes, Mariposa, I am going to stream on Twitch today. I'll probably start off after this doing some marbles with everybody because we haven't done that in a while. And then I don't know what we're going to do. I kind of want to just play Destiny today if I'm being selfish. Dude, Death Atlas by Cattle Decapitation was one of my favorite records from 2020. Travis Ryan is insane. Dude, yeah, the couple bassists that Beyond Creation has had also are insanely good. Yeah, being a good bass player is knowing what the music needs. I've heard of The Gathering. I have not listened to them. What's up, Chase? Welcome, buddy. Yeah, Lionheart, good point. I mean, Davey's got 2,000 times the amount of subscribers and following I have, but look at the fan base, you know? Like, I had people when I did my Nightwish playthrough, which, by the way, I am not, like, proud of, if I'm being honest. I can sit here and play that song now and play it 100 times better than I did in that bass playthrough, just because I had just started playing bass again. I had people that were literally responded to my Nightwish video and they're like, oh, you're playing with a pick? Yeah, you lose points for that. I'm like, why? That's how it was played on the album. That's how Marco plays all their parts. Like, what the fuck? Could do some Phasmophobia today. Somebody told me I should try and do Phasmophobia solo yesterday, and I'd never thought about doing that. Well, Morgan, there's a difference between using it like a guitar or making it sound like a guitar. Like, one of my favorite bass tones ever was actually Byron Stroud's bass tone on the Archetype album by Fear Factory. Just had a massive grit and overdrive to it. Almost had a guitar distortion on it. So that's one of those examples where the bass sounds more like a guitar, but it's not necessarily being used like a guitar, if that makes sense. You know, one of the only bands I can think of off the top of my head where, like, when somebody says using a bass like a guitar, to me that means the bass is the lead and the guitar is the rhythm. Bands like Primus, stuff like that, because Les is basically always doing lead parts while the guitar is holding the rhythm. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do more tech videos in the future. I just need to... Things are getting busy at home, man. We're expecting a kid anytime. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do for content and stuff like that. And you guys know, like, when we have our kid, content's going to slow down a hair for a little bit. There's probably going to be a lot more live streaming because it's easy. I can just sit and do it in the moment. That would be wild if I could do that, RPG. Because I wear a Fitbit. If I could somehow get a Fitbit app on here and then, like, put my heart rate monitor on there, that would be pretty funny. Henrik from Dirty Loops. Lock that. Okay. Alright. Irish morning coffee? Not for me. I don't drink. I used to. A lot. I've heard about Mayan. I haven't heard them yet, but I am intrigued, yeah. How do you pronounce GIF? GIF. Have a good one, Mr. Sloth. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I don't always use a pick when I play bass, Marco, but more recently I have been. Because a lot of songs that I'm trying to learn require it. From Russia with love. I did an Epidemia reaction, but I definitely need to check out Aria. I've been hearing that name a lot. I mean, I can't take a huge break because doing online content is my only source of income right now because we're not touring, but I'm not going to be on here as much. Obviously, parenting comes first. Oh, yeah, dude, Morgan, good example. There's a lot of cool bass work and Deftones stuff. Dimmu had a really good bass player. I don't know who their bass player is now. No, Max? Max, what are you saying no? Don't check out that band? What? Yeah, good shout there, Peter Hook. Forgot about New Order. Oh, he's probably saying no because I said GIF. What does negotiation mean? I mean, I don't know the actual definition off the top of my head, but I would say a negotiation is discussing terms, people having a conversation, trying to figure out what they want. Yeah, no, my little girl will not have her own channel. Claire and I have already discussed this. Like, we will not be having our kid on social media or the internet. So, Rob, if that's Rob's point, it is a good point. Pick is suitable for a lot of symphonic metal stuff because... So, the difference between fingerstyle and picking is that when you play with your fingers, you get more of a rounded, fat tone. For me, it also feels more comfortable to finger pick, but when you use a guitar pick on a bass, you get more of a clean, precise, punchy tone. And not to mention, your speed can be quicker. And with a lot of symphonic metal and other metal like that, guys that are playing 16th notes all the time and stuff like that, they kind of need to use a pick. Yeah, I was talking about Vortex. Charlie's here? Did I miss him? Oh, there he is. What's up, Charlie? Shout out the big brain. How are you doing, buddy? You're just cranking out content lately, man. I don't think I've ever heard of Rot Nest. Saga, typically yes, but it's all dependent on the player, like what the player wants, what their feel. Like I saw the other day that Frederick from Orbit Culture said he plays with 0.75 millimeter bass picks, or guitar picks for bass. I would probably use a little thicker pick. I've been using this Everlast pick from Ernie Ball. This is 0.88 millimeters. I've known some bass players that have used 1 millimeter picks. But then I've known bass players that have used like 0.6 millimeter picks. It's all dependent on who's playing, what they like. But because of the strings on a bass are a lot thicker than guitar, I would assume the thicker the better. Nah, finger picking wouldn't necessarily be faster unless you're good enough to utilize 3 fingers. But when you're using 3 fingers, you're basically like, when you're finger playing a bass, it's easy because you can use 2 fingers, and if you're playing in 4/4, you can count easily 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 like that, and then go faster. If you're using 3 fingers, you'd have to keep going back and forth because of the counting. Using 3 fingers for me is good if I'm doing like triplets or gallops or something. I can just go like that. But here's the difference. If you're trying to play something fast with 2 fingers and you're doing that, take a pick and all you got to do is go a lot less energy. Do I know the old Finnish rock band Hanoi Rocks? I know the name. I don't think I've ever listened to them. Oh, the Radio Top Box stuff was awesome. I watched a lot of his covers the other day. If I had to guess, I would say a lot more. I would say 2 to 1. If I had to guess, Charlie, I would say it's probably 2 to 1 with bass players that pick over finger, or that use a guitar pick rather than finger picking in metal. I might actually say it's as high as 3 to 1. There's not many bass players off the top of my head that I can think of in metal that finger pick or slap. And then some of them switch back and forth depending on what kind of song they're playing. Dave, that guy's an anomaly. That's a classically trained musician that was playing bass. Like, that guy's insane. Hanneman or King? Hanneman, all the way. In my opinion, I hope I don't upset anybody here. While Kerry King is an absolute legend in the metal scene, I think he's highly overrated. Punk bass players would disagree on that pick technique. It depends on what I'm playing. There are some things that I would just down pick. For example, hold on, I'm running over my in-ear cable here and I'm getting stuck. Oh, come on. Okay, I'm literally stuck with my head down right now because my in-ear cable is stuck in my chair. And now I just unplugged it. I would down pick if I was alternating strings. Like if I was jumping back and forth. A good example of that is the riff to Cloud Connected by In Flames. Instead of, hold on, I think I'm in drop tuning. Yeah. So the riff to Cloud Connected, I would not alternate pick that. It feels difficult to me. Like, I would do it like down picking all the way. It just depends on what the riff is. Whatever feels more comfortable to me is if I would down pick or alternate. Baby fall asleep on guitar. Okay. 6, 7, and 8 string basses. I mean, if it's necessary, go for it. I'll be honest with you, there are not many things that necessitate a 6 string bass. I do not play Ghost of Tsushima, but I've heard it is amazing. Who have you not seen live that is currently top on your list when gigs return? Oh, good question. I had tickets to see Ginger in Nashville in May. That got canceled. Nightwish, Sabaton, Orbit Culture. God, there's so many others. Unleash the Archers. There's so many. I would, at this point, I would probably almost go see any band that I did a reaction to on this channel that I really liked. Who do you think is the best drummer, bass, guitarist, guitar? Oh, Jesus. That's such a difficult question because that all comes down to a lot of opinion and personal taste. Chase always says that, and this is a great statement, the best musicians are people that none of us have ever heard of. It's somebody somewhere that probably just never had the connections to get into a signed band or make it that is so stupidly good we'll never know their names. Yeah, Ben, I've heard of it. Is 4 strings too many for bass? No. My opinion, 4 strings is the perfect amount for bass. 5 strings are more common because you can get that one extra lower note, or that lower string, so you can get some lower notes, but yeah, exactly. Saga, look at a lot of Les Claypool videos. That dude does the majority of his work on a 4-string bass. Yeah, I'd go see Eskimo Callboy. I'd be more interested to see Ghost Kid, to be 100% honest. Oh, you're going to be in Nashville in early March? Oh, yeah, hit me up separately. Like, send me an email or get on Discord or something and send me a message. I'll give you a lot of places to check out. COVID really hasn't affected anything here. And I mean that in the sense of, like, we have COVID here. Just nobody cares. Everything's open. Yeah, Johan from Evergrey is insane too. Sometimes Chase does say things. There are a lot of people that I would add to that Kerry King club. A lot of legendary names that I think are a little more overrated than they should be. Sandra, 100% agreed. Some of the best musicians I've ever seen in my life are musicians here in Nashville. Like, that I've personally ever seen. It's not metal dudes that are shredding in a band. It's session musicians in Nashville that are so ridiculously good. Oh, Melissa, that's awesome. I'll tell you what. You know, my parents were big supporters of my band when I was younger, and that meant the world to me. Like, seeing your parents at live shows and stuff. Signature Amir bass, 1 string. Cameron, I actually like Schecter's. I don't know too much about their company. I haven't worked on many of them, but the Schecter basses that I've sat down and played, I really liked. Who of the big 4 is most important to me? I mean, probably Metallica. I mean, easily Metallica. I would say, in order, Metallica, Megadeth. Hold on. Fuck. I don't know. I would just Metallica is number 1. That was early. That That was childhood for me. I really got into Metallica. I like a lot of their stuff. I mean, they're legends. I've said this a couple times, but this is kind of a funny statement. I like the idea of Slayer more than I actually like Slayer's music, if that makes sense. I don't know, Matt Morgan, I just planned on growing the beard out and seeing what happens. I've always, since I've been like in my late 20s, I've always had a beard like this. Pennywise, someday we'll do that. Someday we'll play some Magic the Gathering. There you go, Saga. Yeah, Pennywise has been all about Arena lately. Ooh, Snoopy, I'll have to check. That's another band I've been meaning to check out. I'll make sure I... What is a common bass guitar? I mean, everybody's different, but I would say the most popular bass guitar I've seen teching is a Fender P bass or Fender Jazz bass. I would easily say that's probably the most common bass you'll ever see. How many years do I think Metallica has left? I really don't know. They could hang it up now and I'd still be fine with it. Like, their career has been so good and they have so many good songs. Yeah, I don't know why I was about to replace Testament with Megadeth. I don't know why I said that. I've heard alternating versions of the Big Four. Some people replace Testament with Megadeth a lot. My favorite Slayer song is actually Disciple, but Raining Blood is up there too, of course. But like, that's my point, is like, Slayer is good for some iconic songs here and there, but I never listen to a full Slayer album. Yeah, I love my P bass. I like the deluxe Ps too, that have the precision pickup and the jazz pickup. Loma, I'm not against that. I actually got bored in bed the other night and I started playing with my beard and I started like braiding it down the middle and it actually looked kind of cool. I didn't get into Testament until later in life and I actually really like Testament now. Actually, out of all those singers in the Big Four, I think I like Chuck Billy's voice the best. I have not listened to Ascension of Watchers. Opeth is a band that I've kind of dabbled with. I know what they sound like. I'm familiar with their talent and their music, but I haven't really dove into their discography. If I had to put those bands in order of what their importance was to me and how I feel about them, I'd probably say, if we're including Megadeth into this mix and making it a 5, I'd probably say Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, Testament, Anthrax in that order. But I like all of those bands. There's a lot of Anthrax I really like too. Yes, I am familiar with the Murder Dolls, Joey Jordison's other band. Yeah, I got into some Exodus back in the day. My top 5 favorite metal bands? I'm going to make this a very broad category. Like, there's some people that might argue with me that a couple of these bands I name might not be metal. But if I had to pick a top 5, this is not in any specific order. Like, and this is also all time. In Flames, 9 Inch Nails, Fear Factory, Deftones, This is hard. It's a hard part about these top lists, man, because there are bands that, like, my musical taste changes all the time. Like, currently, if I told you who my current top 5 bands are, they'd be way different. Like, all-time lists are hard because every month I listen to so much different music. Like right now I'm listening to so much Nightwish, Sabaton, Orbit Culture. Even though I've only heard a few songs, I listened to the few Amorphous songs I've heard a ton. Oh, throw Children of Bodom in that top 5. For sure. I mean, Nine Inch Nails is one of my all-time favorites, too. I wouldn't put Heaven Shall Burn in my all-time favorites list, but I do like Heaven Shall Burn. Only because I've only heard a couple of their albums. I listened to them a lot in early high school, like when The Weapon They Fear came out. I have not listened to a lot of their newer stuff. There's probably about 1,000 requests on our Discord right now. The only thing that's nice is that some of the people on our Discord were kind enough to help make like a bot and a list. We have a list that actually says like how many times songs have been requested and how popular requests they are, so that helps us narrow it down. But yeah, there's like 1,000 requests on the request sheet that Chase and I have. I've always heard the big 4 as Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, Anthrax. I have heard people throw Testament in that list sometimes. But I always thought... I saw RPG's comment with Testament in there and it kind of threw me off because the big 4 that I always heard was Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, Testament. But I do have friends... Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, Anthrax. I do have friends that throw Testament in that list, though. I have friends that think that if Metallica never existed, Testament would have been, like, the biggest metal band in the world. I like Rush. Dunny. I like Rush. I'm not, like, super in love. I think they're incredible musicians, and I like some of their songs. Rush is a casual listen for me. Northern Finland, negative 21 Celsius. I am sorry. The coldest it's got here this year so far was negative 11 Celsius. My favorite bass brand, I'm really partial to this old Warwick I have back here. Like, the Warwick Thumb, to me, is my all-time favorite bass. I absolutely love Pantera. Pantera was another defining band for me when I was younger. Any band I'm sad I've never seen live. Let me think about this. I've seen a lot of bands live. I would add Pantera to a big 5 before I would add Testament, honestly. Yeah, I could do a bass playthrough to a Nine Inch Nails song on a video someday. There are some fun bass parts in some of their songs. I like cigars. I used to like whiskey. I don't drink anymore, though, so... I do love cigars, though. Phil, me personally, I never got into Iron Maiden. And I don't mean that in a sense of I didn't like what I heard. I just, for some reason, the opportunity to, like, really get into them never... They were never a band that was, like, really popular in my group of friends when I was growing up, and I didn't listen to them a ton. I understand how important to the metal community they are, though, and how legendary they are. I have never teched on any double neck guitars, but it would literally be the same thing as just working on a regular guitar. It just has 2 necks. Loved Sepultura back in the day. I actually jumped ship from Sepultura, and really got into Soulfly when Max left Sepultura. I haven't listened to anything from Sepultura in probably 20 years. Daniel, I do not know how to pronounce that, but no, I have never heard of them. Ooh, Metallica, The Cure, nice, Nightwish, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Coldplay, U2, Winter Sun. I am not a fan of U2 at all. I think they're one of the most overrated bands ever. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not telling anybody they shouldn't like them. But I saw U2 live on the 360 tour in Nashville. Absolutely incredible. One of the best live shows I've ever seen. Yeah, Chaos AD. Oh, dude, I listened to Roots and like Refuse Resist on repeat when I was a kid. Davey 504 would wipe the floor with my ass in a bass battle. I'm not even gonna deny that. The dude is insanely good. Some of his jokes he's made, I think, have been taken way too seriously by people that aren't bass players, like the whole pick thing and the how slap is superior and stuff like that. But in terms of talent, that guy is a very, very talented bass player. Never got into Manowar either. It just never happened. Yeah, you remember that? That free, undeletable copy of U2 that Apple gave everybody that nobody asked for? So there's a lot of things that can determine the sound of an electric guitar. The wood, the body of the guitar, the neck, the strings that you put on it. And that's just the bass tone of it and the resonance and stuff. Then you can change up the amps and the effects. I mean, there are so many factors that go into the sound of an electric guitar. It's ridiculous. Entombed I'm familiar with. Bolt Thrower I'm not. I never got into Muse either. I respect them as musicians. I think they're incredibly talented. I just never really got into it. I did get my challenge from Nanowar. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to really get into it. And I have not seen the video, but just based on the title, I don't feel like it's something appropriate for my channel. Me personally, it's just something I'm going to pass on. So they said they said totally cool. We'll find something else to send you. Hi, Jenny. I am familiar with the Agonist. I worked at a venue outside of Chicago when I was younger, like in my really early 20s. When I would come home from tour, I would work at a venue. We had the Agonist in there on a one-off from a tour they were on when Alyssa was still with the band. They were the nicest people. They were super cool. I haven't heard any of their newer stuff, and I'm familiar with all of Rammstein. I know people ask for Rammstein all the time. Dude, I've listened to so much of their music. I've seen them live. I have all their DVDs. Steel Panther's great too. Yeah, I've seen Steel Panther a bunch. I have friends that work for them a lot. Yeah, I grew up on Bowie. I like a lot of Bowie stuff. Dude, Eiffel 65? Dude, that could be a rewind. Because when Blue came out, that shit was everywhere. The best band I've seen live? In terms of the sound on the studio track. Ooh. Nine Inch Nails is up there. That, in my opinion, that's one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, I definitely need to do more Dimmu again. So guys, we've been here for about an hour, and I want to jump over onto Twitch and stream some games on there. And then I got a lot of stuff at the house I want to do with Claire today, and then I've got some reactions to film and all that. So kind of want to wrap it up here. Flesh God Apocalypse did a cover of Blue by Eiffel 65. Holy shit. Okay. Would I ever make a video of how to change pickups? Absolutely, if I ever need to change pickups and have the opportunity. Right now, I don't need to. Maybe if I ever, like, make enough money from YouTube that I can just spend on a new pair of pickups, I'll make a video on that. I have not heard covers by 10 Masked Men. I'm kind of in Phil's boat. I don't want to hear live the exact same as the album track. Like, I want a little bit of difference for sure. But anyways, I'm going to wrap this up, guys. Thank you very much. Hey, just so you guys know, in the future, these Sunday morning coffee live streams are probably going to go down schedule-wise a little bit, especially when we have our kid. It's probably going to be like every other week thing, just so I can actually have a day off, because right now, from content, I have no days off. I'm either doing YouTube or Twitch every single day, so. But I haven't figured it out yet. We'll figure out a lot of stuff as we go. When our daughter is born, we'll figure out what works for us and what we can do and all that good stuff. So, thank you everybody that has taken the time to be here. I appreciate all of you guys being here every week. I like doing this. I like talking to you guys. If you're not on our Discord, the link is in the description of this video. A lot of us hang out on there. It's a great community. We're in voice and video chat a lot, and we just talk about whatever. Made some good friends in there, honestly. And then I'm going to jump over on Twitch in a little bit. That link is in the description below. That's a cool place where we all just hang out, play video games. I talk to you guys in chat, and there's some other fun stuff we do. So I'm going to jump on Twitch for a few hours, and then, do stuff around the house. So guys, once again, thank you so much for being here. Tomorrow on the channel is going to be another episode of Interview with a Roadie with Tom England from Evergrey. It was awesome. I hope you guys enjoy it. It will be on Patreon shortly, and I will see you guys very, very, very soon. Thank you once again for being here.